A released Israeli hostage, Mia Schem, has given an interview describing her 55 days being held captive in Gaza. The 21-year-old was snatched by Hamas terrorists from the Supernova music festival on October 7. So she's gone on Israeli television describing being attacked, molested, kidnapped into Gaza, threatened, held hostage by a civilian family before she was released as part of a ceasefire deal last month. I want to play you just a short clip and get your reaction.
בחלק העליון של הגוף. ואז משום מקום מישהו משם משך אותי בשיער, הכניס אותי לרכב ונסע לעזה. כמו חיה שם בספארי.
Now, she says that she was held hostage by a Gazan family, and where she was held hostage, she had women and children around. Is that surprising to you? She says that it's like one big family there, Gazans and Hamas. It's all intertwined.
Well, James, I don't think there's any doubt that Hamas has fairly strong support with a large group of the Palestinian population in Gaza. Some of them will have been pushed to be closer supporters of Hamas because of the war. But really, to think that Hamas are anything but a murderous, brutal terrorist outfit, when you hear stories like we're hearing from this Israeli woman, and you see investigative reports, as has happened around the rapes and horrible brutalization of women that Hamas committed on the 7th of October, the reality of this war and the horror that the Israelis are facing really needs to be weighed in the scales much more than we hear about it in Australia, where it's like helpless Palestinians who are innocents in this. Well, some of these Palestinians are Hamas terrorists, and some of them are enabling the Hamas terrorists. And what they have done is unspeakably brutal.
And so when you hear reports as that one from a hostage who said she was held by Gazan families in Gaza as a hostage, and then we've got our government bringing almost 1,000 Palestinian refugees into Australia with very quick security checks. And of course, not all Palestinians support Hamas, but a lot do. They have overwhelming support. Polls have proved that. It makes you wonder why the Australian government, and with the terror warnings that we've just been talking about, would make such a move.
James, I think we're at risk of thinking Australia is such a safe place. What happens in the Middle East has no implications for us here in Australia. It has real implications. We have large ethnic populations from all of those countries. So Lebanon, the Lebanese ethnic community in Australia is a very valuable part of our community. But some of the people are connected to very nasty, dangerous people in groups like Hezbollah. We have to be very clear-eyed about this, and the communities themselves are, but we also have to enforce our law to have our population understand that we're keeping Australia as a safe place. And unfortunately, we've got to be much more clear-eyed about the security side of things than the government has shown it's willing to be to date.
Yeah, well, I'd love to have a clear-eyed government. That'd be a wonderful thing. Michael, thank you for your time.